When the scriptures tell us that we should not have any fear, it is for a good reason, because we know the presence and the power of the Lord God of the universe in our lives. Good morning. This is Pastor Ernie Lewis of the Blue Point Church in Sisney, Illinois, with your thoughts for Tuesday. In Deuteronomy chapter 31, Moses is giving his parting speech to the children of Israel to remind them of the Lord's presence when they move forward to take that promised land. He begins in verse 6 by saying, "Be strong and of good courage. Do not fear nor be afraid of them, for the Lord your God, He is the one who goes with you. He will not leave you nor forsake you." I realize there are several passages and places where we hear God saying to Joshua, this new young leader of the Israelite nation, "Be strong and of good courage." And he would certainly need that while he's facing these giants in the land of Canaan. He was one of those earlier spies that some 40 years ago looked at the land and saw those sons of Anak, who certainly looked like giants to them, that were holding down that land of Canaan. He gave his report, by the way, 40 years earlier, saying that he believed that God had given them the land and that they could certainly overcome the enemy with God's help. But now he is this 80-year-old leader of a ragtag group of Hebrews who has been here before, and their forefathers turned away because of their fear of the enemy. He will need all the courage that he can get to lead them successfully into the promised land. So Moses says, "Be strong and of good courage," knowing that he will need some strength to oppose the naysayers and to lead this fearful band against the walled cities and the great enemy. Moses also says to him, "Do not fear, nor be afraid of them." Sometimes I think he's talking about the Israelites rather than the Canaanites. After all, they had threatened to stone him some 40 years ago because they didn't like the report that he brought back as a spy. To carry this thought even further, he repeats his encouragement in Deuteronomy 31 and verse 8. But here he said, "He is the one who goes before you," not with you. I mean, that's better than him being by your side, right? And the Lord did go before them. He parted the waters of the Jordan so that they could cross into this promised land. He went before this nation to crumble down the walls of Jericho so that their army could go in and defeat them. You see, this is the promise that we need to claim today in our journey here below. That same God of the Israelites who would give them victory over the enemy has promised His presence in our lives today. And He gives us that same victory over our enemies. The special part of the promise we should claim today is He will go before you. You know, we don't know what we're going to face tomorrow, but He already knows. As a matter of fact, He's already been there. He's going to come back and give us guidance through those difficult ways because He goes before us. And finally, He says, He will not leave us nor forsake us. Some people here might desert you in some troublesome times, but God will not. He will never forsake us. He will go before us, and He will give us victory if we do not fear and have strength and courage to follow Him into the future.